Welcome to today's podcast episode where we take to the skies and explore the fascinating history of aviation. From the daring dreams of early pioneers to the technological marvels of the modern age, aviation has transformed how we connect with the world. We'll journey through significant milestones, hear about extraordinary individuals who dared to challenge the limits of flight, and uncover the innovations that revolutionized air travel. Buckle up as we embark on an airborne adventure through history. Let's start with the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright. These two men, who initially worked as bicycle makers, became legendary pioneers in aviation. On December 17, 1903, near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, they achieved what many thought was impossible. They completed the first sustained, controlled-powered flight. Their aircraft, known as the Wright Flyer, flew for just 12 seconds, but that brief moment changed history. Can you imagine soaring through the sky for those fleeting seconds? Orville was at the controls, and during that flight, they covered just 120 feet, about 37 meters. The Wright brothers ingeniously taught themselves the principles of aerodynamics and invented a crucial system known as three-axis control. Today, we still rely on their methods of controlling aircraft in roll, pitch, and yaw, which are fundamental to every airplane operation. Their achievement laid the groundwork for the future of flight and marked the dawn of a new era in transportation. Now, fast forward to the 1920s, when Charles Lindbergh made headlines with his incredible solo nonstop transatlantic flight. Imagine taking off from New York City and landing in Paris without ever touching down, all in one go. This remarkable flight happened on May 20 to 21 in 1927 aboard the Spirit of St. Louis. Lindbergh flew this single-engine monoplane for an exhausting 33.5 hours, and the journey was no walk in the park. Lindbergh faced extreme fatigue, but he had a unique technique to stay awake. He would stick his hand out the window and slap his face to keep alert. Lindbergh didn't just win fame for this achievement, he also won the Ortiz Prize, which was a hefty $25,000 awarded for the first nonstop flight between New York and Paris. It showcased how aviation was evolving and capturing the imagination of the public and aspiring pilots alike. Next, let's talk about one of the most famous female aviators in history, Amelia Earhart. She broke barriers and shattered records as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean in 1932. Her determination and daring spirit earned her the Distinguished Flying Cross, making her the first woman recipient of this prestigious award. Earhart did not stop there. She continued to set various aviation records and even wrote best-selling books about her experiences in the air. However, her story became shrouded in mystery when she attempted to fly around the world in 1937. Sadly, Earhart disappeared over the Pacific Ocean near Howland Island during this ambitious flight, and despite extensive searches, no trace of her was ever found. Her legacy as a trailblazer in aviation continues to inspire generations of women and men interested in pursuing careers in flying. Moving on, the 1930s also saw groundbreaking developments in aviation technology, particularly with the invention of the jet engine. Innovators Frank Whittle in England and Hans von Ohain in Germany independently created this revolutionary engine, which drastically changed how aircraft functioned. The first jet-powered aircraft, the Heinkel He-178, took to the sky in August 1939, flown by Eric Warsitz. This was just the beginning. Whittle's engine would later power the Gloster E.28/39, marking its first flight in May 1941. Jet engines transformed aviation. They enabled aircraft to achieve higher speeds, fly at greater altitudes, and travel longer distances. The first operational jet fighter, the Messerschmitt Me-262, debuted in Germany in 1944, further emphasizing the rapid advancements occurring in aviation warfare and transport. Fast forward to October 14, 1947, when Chuck Yeager made history as the first pilot to break the sound barrier. Flying the Bell X-1 rocket plane, Yeager achieved an astonishing speed of Mach 1.06, which is approximately 700 miles per hour, at an altitude of 43,000 feet. His secretive flight didn't come without challenges. Just 2 days before, he had broken several ribs during an accident but chose to keep it to himself so he wouldn't be grounded. Isn't that incredible? The X-1, dropped from a B-29 bomber, soared into the history books. Yeager became a folk hero, demonstrating not only remarkable bravery but also showcasing the possibilities of aviation advancements. Now, let's talk about a true giant in the aviation world, the Boeing 747, affectionately nicknamed the Queen of the Skies. Introduced by Pan Am in 1970, this wide-body commercial airliner was a game-changer. Designed by Joe Sutter and his talented team at Boeing, the 747 made air travel more accessible and affordable for the masses. It could comfortably carry over 350 passengers and featured a distinctive hump on its upper deck, initially intended for a lounge area. However, space was later used for extra seating. The 747's four powerful engines revolutionized long-distance flights, making it possible for people to travel across oceans in a matter of hours. After a production run lasting 55 years, the last Boeing 747 was delivered in 2023, marking the end of an era in commercial aviation. As we approach modern advancements in air travel, we cannot overlook the importance of NASA's Space Shuttle. This innovative spacecraft was operational from 1981 through 2011 and was the first reusable spacecraft. The shuttle could launch like a rocket, visit space, and then glide back to Earth for a landing, quite a remarkable feat. Over 5 orbiters were created, including Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Throughout its missions, the Space Shuttle completed groundbreaking work, from transporting astronauts to deploying satellites and building the International Space Station. However, the program faced heart-wrenching tragedies, notably the Challenger disaster in 1986 and the Columbia disaster in 2003, which resulted in the loss of 7 astronauts in each incident. These events served as stark reminders of the risks inherent in space exploration. Moving back to aviation on Earth, let's not forget the Concorde, a supersonic passenger airliner that operated from 1976 to 2003. This aircraft, jointly developed by the United Kingdom and France, could cruise at an astonishing speed of Mach 2.04, allowing it to fly across the Atlantic in about 3.5 hours. That's less time than it takes to binge-watch a series. However, this unique aircraft came with an eye-watering ticket price, often exceeding $12,000 for a round trip. Only 20 Concordes were ever built before being retired due to a combination of accidents, high operational costs, and declining demand. Despite its brief history, the Concorde remains an iconic symbol of luxury and speed in the world of aviation. Finally, let's discuss one of the fastest aircraft ever built, the State Route 71 Blackbird. Developed by Lockheed's Skunk Works, under the genius of designer Kelly Johnson, this long-range strategic reconnaissance aircraft was truly one for the ages. With the ability to fly at speeds of Mach 3.2, or over 2,200 miles per hour, and at altitudes of 85,000 feet, the State Route 71 set records in the aviation world that remain unbroken. The aircraft's unique design utilized titanium for its structure due to the intense heat generated during flight. Interestingly, the State Route 71 leaked fuel on the ground because its design required expansion at high speeds to seal the gaps between panels. Pilots had to refuel immediately after takeoff, a fascinating challenge for such an advanced machine. To this day, the State Route 71 holds the record for the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft, with a performance level achieved in 1976 that has not been surpassed since. To wrap up our exciting journey through aviation history, we explored how innovative minds and fearless aviators have propelled the industry forward. From the Wright Brothers' first controlled flight to the State Route 71 Blackbird's unparalleled speed, each development has contributed to the rich tapestry of human exploration and connection. It's vital to appreciate this history, as it reminds us of the bold spirits who dared to dream beyond the horizon. Studies and explorations of aviation continue to inspire the next generation of innovators and dreamers. As we look ahead, we can only wonder what new inventions and flights await us in the future. In today's episode, we traveled through time to witness the incredible milestones in aviation history. From the Wright brothers' first powered flight to Amelia Earhart's groundbreaking solo transatlantic journey, we learned about the daring aviators and technological advancements that paved the way for modern air travel. We discussed the invention of the jet engine, the historic achievements of Chuck Yeager, and the legacy of aircraft like the Boeing 747 and the Concorde. Each of these stories highlights the extraordinary human endeavor and the evolution of flight, reminding us of the innovation and courage that have shaped our world. Thank you for joining us on this flight through aviation history. We hope you found inspiration in the stories of these remarkable pioneers and their contributions to the world of air travel. Keep exploring the skies, and stay curious about what lies ahead in aviation and beyond. Until next time, keep your dreams soaring high, just like those early aviators did.